Board.
We're good? All right, we're good.
I think, oh, I gotta turn my phone on, make sure. Just give me 2 seconds.
No. Why is there a bottle of soap up there? By the camera.
Okay, and so it could,
Keep it clean?
no, it holds up the thing. It holds it up.
This is
Where's
high
my-
tech here, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I'm gonna go to live stream. We'll see if we can. Brad,
Okay.
All right, good evening, everyone. If we could start the workshop, if everyone could stand and join me in the pledge.
You're gonna need a different mic.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ejection seat.
Is it yours? Can I take that? Let's put it right back here. I'm gonna have to take it. Take it next door.
I would suggest that someone make a motion so we can go into executive session to discuss a personnel issue and also for advice of legal counsel. And then we can come back out and resume the workshop.
Something else.
Okay, motion's been made. Is there a second?
We're supposed to do that at a regular meeting, aren't we?
You can do it either.
I'll second it. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
We'll be back.
Okay, we're gonna pause. We'll be back after the.
Right.
So do I shut this off? Or do I leave it on?
You can pause it.
You can can you pause it?
Okay, it's on.
You ready, Darlene?
Yep.
So we'll just do policies now.
Now, wait a minute. What time are you coming back in? It's 5:50.
All right, everyone, we're back in session. Oh, you said you?
No, I said you.
Oh, I thought you said
All right,
you.
so basically, what the town, board is going to talk about during the work session is there are policies that need to be reviewed and updated. So we're gonna look at 3 policies initially, the journal entry policy, the cash receipt policy, and the bank reconciliation policy. During the work sessions, there are policies that
It works.
She was just checking. So
I would suggest starting with the journal entry policy because it's the shortest.
I don't know that you need to read them out loud, but
So the journal entry policy is just to define the procedures for the town for posting transactions to the general ledger. So it's an accounting and bookkeeping policy. Were these posted online? You
No,
should put them online at some point.
no, they were not.
Can you put them online so people can look at them?
Mhm.
Okay.
You guys all got the policy? Any questions or suggestions?
So it says, preparer and reviewer will date and sign the entry upon completion. I just wanna, is this the place, Kathy, where we should put in a, date? Like, I would suggest no later than the 5th business day of the following month, all entries are made. And maybe the journal entry report is available as part of like the review at the end, so that if there's entries made that are not done through cash receipts or cash disbursements, board members are aware.
Yeah, I would add whatever you feel is important to add to this in that respect.
Yeah, I think we need to make sure that we're doing them timely, so there should be a date like for the end of a period. So I would say like the 5th business day of the following month, all entries are completed. That keeps us timely so that we're able to close the books and get financial reports for board meetings.
Following the end of the month, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's of the following month, Scott.
So we're gonna substitute, the bookkeeper for the accounting firm?
Where are you, Scott?
All the entries, wherever it says bookkeeper?
Yeah.
I would say
Designated accounting firm.
Yep. That's it.
Anything else on this one? You gonna make?
I can I'll make the
Okay.
changes. You shouldn't,
So I'll make the changes and then circulate them, we can post them on the website, and then you can consider voting on them at the, I'd consider it at the organizational meeting in January.
So you'll get me a copy before,
yep,
okay.
uh-huh.
Bank reconciliation policy?
And so this is just a policy with respect to, recording of all incoming or outgoing funds to the town's bank accounts to make sure they're recorded in general ledger on a timely basis. Frequent bank reconciliation is essential to prevent fraud and to ensure that the town's funds are handled with fiscal and fiduciary responsibility.
I think we need to change the 20 business days to like 8, because we would not have, our first board meeting, maybe 7. I think we should maybe, let's make the business days 6 business days. That way we'll have, the bank recs need to be done in order for us to get financial statements, right? So if we're gonna have financials, they have to have the bank recs done. So I would say 6 business days.
Is that timing for us?
Yes. That's fine.
Again, we're gonna switch out bookkeeper for designated accounting firm?
Yes.
Well, so the fort,
The fourth bullet, it says the original bank account reconciliation summary will be filed in a central file in the bookkeeper's office. That should not be designated accounting firm's office, that should be some office here at the town. So,
So is, so the vouchers, the bank reconciliations and so on, are those considered documents that need to be held by the clerk, or are they held by the supervisor?
At the end of the,
probably both.
at the end of the year, I turn them over to the clerk.
Okay, so that would be supervisor's office?
Yes,
Yeah, at the end of the year, everything gets everything and faxed in.
yes. And in the third bullet, I think there needs to be 2 separate people, right? Bank account reconciliations would be prepared by the designated accounting firm and reviewed by, and I think that second one has to be the supervisor.
Or designated.
No, I think it's gotta be you. Can't take you anywhere, Dale.
Under outstanding checks, it says the bookkeeper's office will contact vendors or pays if the checks have been outstanding for over 90 days. Do you want that to be the firm, or do you want that to be?
I think that's up to you guys.
Outstanding check.
No.
60?
I would, personally, I would leave it at 90, because sometimes and I don't know, do our checks say that they're void after so many days?
Right, this is for checks that the town issues.
Right,
Right.
when we send a check though, our checks might say on them, checks are only valid for 90 days or 60 days.
I don't know.
Okay. I'd say whatever, if our checks don't say it, then I leave it at 90, and if the checks have a different number, then I change it to that.
Okay.
But I guess we need to determine who's gonna reach out. I think you can leave it with the accounting firm. Let's just leave that as part of the change.
Why would that money go to the city?
Because by statute it goes to the state.
Okay.
It's the abandoned property law.
That's the next one says
Right.
that. Okay, is there anything else on that one?
Can't take you anywhere either, Jeff.
Okay, cash receipt policy.
And then the purpose of this policy is for procedures and guidelines to all town departments and employees that handle cash collections, to establish the internal controls of cash handling operations throughout the town. And cash also refers to currency, coins, checks, money orders, and credit card transactions.
Right, so I think that's probably gotta change.
Yeah.
So I think the first, I think if we start in the overview, right, all monies should be maintained in a secure locked device or some other location appropriately approved by. That should not be the designated accounting firm. That should either be the supervisor or the bookkeeper, would be my opinion. I mean, unless the board has other thoughts on that, who else should be designating that? Because your clerk is responsible for intake
Yeah.
of money, so that's why it's one of the two of you.
That's right.
I would put the supervisor.
I did put the supervisor, yes. So again, under authority and responsibility, I don't think, right, so the town board has delegated the authority and responsibility for establishing policies and procedures and oversight for all cash handling activities to, that should not be the designated accounting firm, I don't believe. So we're gonna put the supervisor in both of those spots, everybody comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Does anybody Is everybody comfortable with the way segregation of duties currently reads? Which for the public is cash handling operations must be subject to supervisory review. The duties of collecting cash and recording cash should be segregated. No one employee should be responsible for a cash transaction from start to finish. You good with that? No changes?
You already do that, right, Darrell?
Pardon?
You already do that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay.
Why, is there something in there, Kathy, that?
No, I just want, I'm just making sure everybody's comfortable with the language, that's all. If I had a specific recommendation, I'd let you know. Sometimes you guys are all smarter than me, which is why I asked.
No, in that one, it wouldn't necessarily be required, right? I would notify me and then I would notify.
Right, under, notification of a loss,
Yeah,
yeah, that should come to you.
didn't know if safekeeping, the bottom one. Jeff should always be properly endorsed on receipt or deposit. We don't want to sign checks at, on the event of the bank every day.
I don't know,
What's
so you
the
can discuss,
question?
right,
Checks should always be properly endorsed upon receipt.
Mhm.
I think receipt / deposit. Because if you leave it, a bank run isn't made every day. So you don't want to endorse a check and leave it sitting around.
But aren't our checks
We-
endorsed for deposit only?
Yeah.
So I think once you do that, and does the stamp go with our account number on it? Like when
No.
it just is for deposit
Yeah,
only?
yeah. I don't know, you guys tell me, I just usually don't sign checks, because then you deposit.
Yeah, I think if you're signing it, to, like cash it, you would not wanna do that, but if you're depositing, I think you can stamp for deposit only and keep it locked.
so you always cash for deposit only, right, is what we've established. So I think we can say that in here, checks should always be properly endorsed for deposit only,
Endorsed, yeah.
right, upon receipt.
Darlene, any payments received come to you, right? And then you would give anything to the supervisor that does, like, isn't part of your,
If it's got his name on it, he would get it. If I get something, which I can't recall when I've gotten something that was money.
You take money all the time for licenses.
yeah.
Oh, out of my clerk's account, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
but, so if somebody
And she
comes in,
cuts me a check, yeah.
right, but if something, when money comes in that does not belong to you, right, that's for the supervisor, do you take it and give a receipt, or does the supervisor?
Like for the
have to come up-
tires, people bring their tires.
Okay,
I have a little receipt book, that's the carbon copy, and they get a receipt, and then that goes to the bookkeeper, and then, I keep a copy in my logbook. There might be, building permits, when people pay for a building permit, they get a receipt out of that same receipt book.
so you take the money and you just give it to the supervisor?
Right.
The supervisor doesn't have to come out and physically take it
No,
and pay
no,
it.
no.
That's what I'm trying to get to,
Yeah,
okay.
she takes the money, she deposits, I get a check. Preparing for the deposit, that last line, an employee who's separate of the cash collection should then take the deposit to the bank. I don't think that's, you do the bank deposits for your office, right?
I do, we have a check, standard procedure at the town clerk's office is after, we balance each day, and when there is $250 between cash and checks, that's when it's gotta go to the bank. Hunting licenses, we're pretty much going to the bank every day. I do have a check cashing remote capture, machine where I physically deposit all the checks myself, I don't take them to the bank. The only thing I take to the bank is the cash. So, and that cuts down on a lot too. Sometimes you just get all checks. But, yeah, it's 3 days and the money's in the bank.
Okay,
Okay, well then that needs to be reflected here because that's not what this says.
Right.
So this will need to be modified to reflect that, and it depends on whether the board's comfortable with that.
So all checks, whether they're for you or for the supervisor?
Not from,
Just for you,
just my
okay.
department,
Okay, so you remote deposit checks.
yes.
Through a machine or through your phone?
It's through our machine.
You have a check machine.
Mm-hmm.
Do all departments in the town have that?
No, but, it used to be set up so that the bookkeeper could use it and the water clerk could use it. And they all had their own ID, but they did it at the front counter. And, but now it's just the clerk's office that uses it, the, water clerk, and of course the bookkeeper, they don't use it anymore, so.
Well, we need a policy,
You use it.
if that's what the board wants, is to say everybody's gonna use it or everybody's not gonna use it. I think it's hard to write a policy that says clerk's office can do this and the other.
I'm not sure the downfall for not using it, right? That way your checks are going in every day, you don't have to leave the building to go to the bank, but your checks are being deposited every day. It takes a couple minutes.
Is it feasible for the water though? I don't know how many checks she takes in on a regular basis.
I would think it'd be easier for her to do it this way. She can sit at her desk, you just log in to the bank, start a deposit, and you just feed the machine, the checks into a scanner like that they do at the bank.
Oh, okay.
So that way she doesn't have to, she could deposit a $10 check, you know.
I don't deposit the check as soon as it's brought in. It's deposited at the time of the, deposit, when I'm gonna take everything to the bank, or take the cash to the bank, or within 3 days. We can't have anything over $250 cash between the checks and the cash. So when I get to that, it might be 2 days. Hunting licenses, it's every day. And then that's when the checks do go through every day. But, that's how, dog licenses, it's $7 a dog. You might, the thing is, you might have a check that was brought in on Monday, and then by Friday, it's generally bank day, everything goes to the bank on Friday. Because of that check, it's got a date on it, so that's when that goes to the bank, but there might only be $100, or might even be just, one day I just cashed a $7 check.
Okay, so I'm a little confused again. So let's say you received money this week.
Mm-hmm,
You have some checks and some cash.
mm-hmm.
The checks might only be $50 total. You're saying to me you wait till you're ready to go to the bank with the $250 of cash. You take the cash to the bank, and on that same day you do the check deposit, but you do it here.
Right,
Okay.
right. The one thing with the cash, I can do it after hours because they close at 4:30. Tax season, I might not get out of here in time, so that's why I take it to the bank at night. So it's nice, so I can deposit my checks during the day here, and then I can take that cash to the bank at night and do the night drop.
We could put a dollar limit if you want to on the checks, but I think using the remote machine is better than having to run to the bank. Yeah, she can keep working and she's not stopping in, especially the water department. But if if the board wants to put a dollar amount, say anything over a certain amount, must be done each day, or just once a week. I mean, I'm not sure there's a huge, if they're staying for deposit only, and they're locked in the drawer.
It's up to you guys, whatever you're comfortable with. So I think also it sounds like we need two separate sections here, one for checks and one for cash.
What's a reasonable amount for check?
I don't know, I guess the size of the check, I don't know, maybe, I don't know how much checks, I don't know what you get other than tax season, but Darlene, you deposit checks for taxes? Okay.
That's every day.
Right, so, I don't know, in the water, maybe you might wanna say anything more than $500, you're gonna deposit that day, you're gonna deposit if you had $500. Or $250, I mean, I don't,
What are the checks in there? They're above 5, right?
Pardon?
The ones you cut me are normally above 5.
It might be a little bit more than that for the clerk and the,
Yeah, whatever check you
yeah.
cut me.
It might be a little bit more than,
I mean, it's
Depends on
above
each
5.
month.
It's above 5.
yeah, I'd say average 5.
it literally takes minutes.
Do we get many less than 5?
On and off, I honestly don't see why it's a big deal not to just double check daily, and it takes a couple minutes, like you said. It's a lot easier on me than running to the bank every day, to just go run and check every day, it's way easier.
Can you do it daily?
Oh, yeah, you can do it.
Can Beth do it daily?
You can do it, yes, you can if you use the machine,
So
yeah.
she's making it daily? By end of business every day, you have to run your check. Can you do that?
You only,
I could, but then I'll have to run to the bank to take the cash. Cause the batches have to match the receipts. So when I do a batch, like for today, and if I don't, I've only say $10 in there for today, and then tomorrow I might get $20, and then the next day I get $300, I'm gonna go to the bank because I got over $250 total. And then that's when I would do my cash to the bank, and I would do my deposit, on the remote capture,
You go a minimum of once a week.
minimum, yes.
So couldn't we say
Yes.
daily or a minimum of once a week?
yes, and I was gonna say, because if you start doing, like, for water, if she gets, every day she gets a $20 check in it makes a mess in your bank statement, but then it makes you reconciling like a pain in the neck, so.
You actually spend a lot of time reconciling instead
Yeah,
of just,
when I would maybe do it a dollar amount or a minimum of once a week, and if somebody feels like they've got too much that they wanna get it out of their office, then they can do it more, but it should be like a minimum of once a week.
I know with me, when I cash a check, I don't like to have it sitting at someone's place for a couple weeks. I like to get it back, and I always am considerate of the people that do write checks here. They need their checks returned, or like the, reconciliation done for them. So I try to say 1 week, it's Friday, it's my bank day.
Let's make it minimum once a week.
Yeah.
Okay. Minimum once a week.
Right, how are we gonna do cash though? Because cash right now requires at least 3 separate people.
Well, makes sense, so that was what I was saying. Two separate people. That's not gonna work for the clerk's office, so we won't do.
I'm sorry, explain to me one more time, when cash comes in for you
Mhm.
is one thing, but when it comes in for the supervisor, you take the cash and you don't deposit it, you give it
No.
to him, you just give a receipt out and then the cash
Right.
is handed to the
Right,
supervisor's office.
the supervisor's office gets the receipt and then, the money. That's it.
Oh, that's the same one.
No?
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't sound like there is ever enough employees
No,
for there to be 3 people.
no.
So I,
No, but if you have the clerk or deputy clerk taking the cash and you have a receipt for it, now you've got proof that there was a certain amount of cash.
Mhm.
And then it goes to the supervisor, and that, you're gonna be able to determine from your deposit whether all the cash that was collected from the clerk's office, right, she'll have receipts saying we've collected X amount this week. So if the deposits have to be done,
So I wouldn't be doing my own deposits then?
No, you still do.
no, you
that.
Okay.
so we're just gonna remove an employee who is separate of the cash collection should take the deposit to the bank.
Yeah, third person, yeah.
Right, there's gonna be one person to count all the cash, there's gonna be a second person to recount and review the deposit, and then either one of those 2 people can take the cash to the bank.
That's the way you do it, right, correct, Darren?
It's
You
it,
got- One, you guys count it, and then one of you take it in.
right.
Yeah.
Pam counts it and then I take mine in, but I don't count anything else like
No,
the,
that's
Yeah.
fine, right, I
Okay.
got that.
okay.
Yeah, that's good. Designated accounting firm is the next one?
Yes.
What the hell's that?
Right, so, yeah,
The next provision to consider is as determined by whoever we fill in, certain key employees with the duties of handling cash collections may be required to take 2 straight weeks off of performing cash receipt functions. I don't think that's practical for a town the size of Shelby.
that's usually banks.
Right, so we're just gonna eliminate that.
Yeah.
You reconcile your cash payments every day, Darlene?
Pardon?
Every night you reconcile your cash, monies you receive, whether it be check or
Right,
cash.
I have a report that prints out in my cash, on my clerk's report, how much was taken in cash, credit card, or check. And then we count the drawer and we make sure it all matches and make sure it balances. And that is done daily.
Supervisor? Yeah, over to,
Or both, do you want it to be both, or just you?
what do you mean, both?
The accounting firm and the supervisor?
Well, I'd report it to the accounting firm, so, report it to me and I'll report it to the accounting firm. I'm responsible for it, so. Darren, do you issue any refunds? No?
No,
So is this a, non-issue for us?
I'd leave it there.
I'd leave it, you never know when you might have to.
But we also want it on record that we do not do that, we won't do it,
Mhm.
cash.
No, no, it's a cash item. Okay,
I think that should be the town attorney.
good with that.
Larry, Kathy, on the last one, where general control issues.
Yes. That if an employee feels that the department head or supervisor are implicated in inappropriate conduct or cannot be approached, the employee should bypass them and report any inappropriate conduct directly to the town attorney. Okay, if everyone's comfortable, I'll make the changes. I'll get the changes back to Darlene. She can post them on the website. As soon as you get them, that way the public can review them, and then, you can consider adopting them at the organizational meeting in January.
Alright,
So those are new ones, but as far as the current policies that need updating, can we just do a workshop in January to?
Yes, yes, I would anticipate that will have a continuing, right, like workshops before the board meetings to start to go through these policies and policy reviews. And you can always, always adopt them once we make changes or revise or whatever.
Darlene, are you ready to go right into the board meeting?
No.
Without even stopping?
No, we gotta stop. Oh, let's see.
That's fine, I gotta,
Okay.
do I have my key thing?